Hey guys, how you guys doing today? As you guys know, I recently bought the Canon EOS R6 and I've been working a lot on the photo side of this camera and I love the photo side of this camera. But I have heard a lot about the video side as being the downside of this camera. So last weekend, my family and I, we decided to go to beautiful St. Augustine, Florida, and I decided not to take pictures, but to only record videos to see how the video aspect of this camera will work on a full day. And I made a small video for you guys that I would like you guys to watch right now. And once we finish the video, I'm gonna let you guys come back and we'll discuss a little more about my experience with this camera. Now, as you guys can see right here, I'm showing the video again with the resolutions that I recorded because I recorded this video in 4K and 1080p because I was trying to see and figure out, what is the difference between the resolutions. And let me tell you, I didn't see much. I mean, the 4K is very crisp. I like it because it's a down sample from 5.1K. But the 1080p, as we know from the Canon cameras, is an amazing, amazing resolution, and it can compete with 1080 in my opinion. So what are the things that I like about this camera in the video aspect? Well, number one, I just mentioned it, the 1080p. It is very crisp and it can compete with the 4K footage, which is amazing, guys. It's great. Another thing that I like is C-Log. I mean, the C-Log in this camera, the footage being so flat when you record it, and then you can bring those colors back and they come back so rich. And the image comes very beautifully. The skies, when I was recording, the details between the cloud and the skies is amazing. The dynamic range, I love the dynamic range in the video aspect of this camera. And I know that a lot of people are not fan of it, but let me tell you, to me, it is great. And the C-Log in this camera just makes the color grading process so smooth. And I love how the color grade looks. As you guys can see from C-Log to color graded, it is a completely different image and it looks outstanding. Another thing that I love about this camera in the video aspect of it is the IBIS. The IBIS was rich and it was sound. It was amazing. I had a couple of images that came out a little shaky, but it was because of me, because I kept moving my hands too much and I couldn't keep them as steady as I wanted, because I was recording with a 24-105, which is a pretty big lens, the L series lens, and I was trying to navigate how to learn to work with this lens, because when I do videos, I usually record with a prime lens, something like a 35mm, 50mm, something like that, even a 16mm or a 24mm. And just having this big lens, I felt a little uncomfortable, but the IBIS helped out. So I only had to, fix a little bit of the shakiness in post using the warp stabilizer on Premiere, but that was because of me and it was not a defect on the camera itself. I also love the low light footage. The low light footage in this camera, it is second to none. I had never owned a Sony. I hear Sony is probably the beast of low lights, but this camera does it right in my opinion. I guess the 20 megapixels, like they say in other reviews that I have seen before, is just that the pixels are bigger, so it lets more light in. And I love the image. I love the image in low light situations, and I didn't see much grain in it. I did not use a noise reductor in this video, so it was really good experience, and I love how the camera performed. Now going to the misses. The one miss that I have in this camera in the video aspect, it is the autofocus. While the autofocus is excellent in the photo aspect of the camera, when it comes to video, it could be a little it can lag a little bit, and I wish that it will be a little more crisp and faster, but it is something that I will prefer. But I believe that possibly I was in some low light situations when I was in the pizzeria or the chocolate place, and I think since I was in a low light and the lens is an f4, that might have been the reason why the autofocus was not as crisp as I'm used to dealing with cameras and lenses that are 1.4, 1.8, or 2.0. So that might be the case, but let me tell you, this camera is great, but just the autofocus. Because when I use the autofocus in this camera on this 24-105 lens, the images come out absolutely outstanding. But I will have to see with another lens to see how it is. I'm gonna be doing a review when I get the 35mm 1.8 RF lens, and then I can compare, and then I can really judge this camera autofocus in low light situations. And now to open the Pandora box, the other thing about the camera that I'm not really fan of, and a lot of people have already mentioned it, is the overheating. The camera didn't overheat on me because, you know, I was taking small samples and small shots, you know, small footages. So it never overheated, but I was always worried about it, that it will overheat. And every time I recorded a new segment, I saw how the timer was decreasing on the camera. So that is something that worried me, and I wish something can get fixed. So that's another downside of the video aspect. Also, the battery. The battery is not the greatest battery. I thought it was gonna be a really excellent battery, but the battery, it lasted the entire time. I never had to recharge the battery, but I saw how it was decreasing on the camera. So that is something that hopefully Canon can work. But I also know that I have to buy a battery grip with an extra battery. Overall, my experience with the Canon R6 in the video part of the camera is I liked it a lot. I actually did like it a lot. Do I prefer something else? Well, I have always enjoyed recording with my Canon M50 for videos. But the Canon R6, the IBIS makes it so easy to record with, so I don't have to be bringing anything extras, you know, like my DJI stabilizer, the running S, none of that. Here every shot was handheld, so that makes this camera very, very light, and it's a light setup. And hopefully when I try with the 35mm 1.8, I can really start feeling more comfortably if the autofocus starts to pick up. Well, guys, this is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed this video, and please hit the subscribe button as it helps me keep bringing good content to you guys. And I hope I'm doing a really good job. I'm seeing a, you know, uprise on the subscription. Please share with your friends, and, you know, spread the word about this channel so more people can subscribe, like the video, and leave your comments in the bottom. Hey, and I'm always looking for the comments. I'm always answering in the comment section, and it will be till next time. So peace.